Shifters has always been a part of Arknights since the start of the game. First introduced in Chapter 2, players are taught to use them as a cheese for shifting enemies into holes. The mechanics gets used quite often, especially early on. This unfortunately creates a weird stigma that shifters are only used for this specific scenario. And as the game progresses and more stages gets added, they also stop having these cheese mechanics on the map, showing up only once or twice per chapters, before fading out of existence. The decrease of these cheese mechanics sadly also decreased the usage of shifters in general, as they are still stuck with the old stigma that was introduced early on. They start to struggle finding their usage in general composition, becoming more niche as new operators are introduced to the roster. That is all until contingency contracts were introduced. The first contingency contract was Contingency Contract Beta. In here, they get their first major role, not just as someone who only shifts enemies into holes, but instead as a stalwart. Feather or Shao were used to push Avengers repeatedly to prevent them from hitting our operator, as a single attack means death to anyone in their path. This strategy was used in CC Beta Risk 26, which is the highest risk achieved on that CC, where Feather and a Slower are used to indefinitely stall Avenger. Shifters also seen used in CC0 Battleland, where they get introduced to their new role, that is being a path changer. By using shifters, we're able to change enemy path, causing enemies to be forced to walk on top of fire tunnels. Another role that shifter gets is to group enemies together, which is only doable by pullers, as they can help pull enemies towards them. In Risk 28, multiple shifters are used to change enemy pathing, stall enemies, and to group multiple targets. All this creates synergy that helps players to conquer CC0 Battleland. Up until now, shifters for the most part are used for stalling in many shape or form, usually known as bullying squad. That is until the addition of a 6-star pusher, Weedy.
体が弱い私でもこうやって認めてくれてありがとう、ドクター。これからもロドスのために頑張るよ。
Some people like to just call her as a feather upgrade, which, well, it is not wrong. For the most part, she is more than just a better feather. Really change how pushers are generally perceived as, and you might not realize that. As a 6-star pusher, Weedy, just like any other pusher, have similar skill. Her first skill is a generic auto push skill that, instead of slows like feather does, stuns. Her second skill is a permanent pushing skill that, in exchange for having lower force, it provides damage against high defense enemies and allows her to push consistently without being tied down to cooldown. Her third skill is her main push skill, as it has the highest force while also providing damage that scales well, including through damage. As you might have realized from the way I presented Weedy's skill, what she provides is not just as an alternative. She provides many other things that other pushers could not do. First off is obviously damage. Unlike Feather and Xiao's, Weedy's second and third skill has a surprisingly decent number that most people overlook. Weedy's second skill provides attack range and increased attack stats, while the skill itself does not increase her DPS. It however allows her to deal with high defense enemies better, while also providing her boost utility. Weedy's third skill also has a high multiplier, dealing a good amount of nuke damage on top of her force capability. What makes this skill even better is the fact that it applies a nightmare debuff, which causes enemies to take true damage depending on distance travel. This pairs really well with her talent, which we'll talk later. The next thing Weedy provides is the utility that comes from both her skill and talent. Her first utility is obviously her push force, coming from all her skill, mainly her skill tree. Her talent allows her to summon a water cannon that also can push, albeit for a rather small force of 0. However, do not be fooled, as most normal mobs have a wake of 0 to 2 anyway, which is still in the range for the cannon to shift them. Adding the fact that a water cannon can be deployed anywhere makes it possible for her to handle multiple lanes at once, when the need arises. Her water cannon also gives SP to Weedy herself if it's deployed adjacent to her, which can help making sure her skill goes up in power. This cannon is also why Weedy's third skill is so much stronger than it looked at first. When her water cannon is deployed adjacent to herself, the cannon also shoots her third skill with increased force, that is force 4, which is the highest force in the game at the moment. By combining the push from Weedy and her cannon, she's able to push enemies very far, and also deal a lot of true damage. This shows usage right away in multiple CC, right after her addition. In CC1 Pirate Tricks 27, she and her cannon is used to push raid and kills them by true damage. In CC2 Blade Masteries, she is also used in a similar fashion to stall Avenger while also dealing damage to them, with the help of SP Battery from this card. And in CC4 Lizio Masteries, she is used to deal damage to Mudrock Zealots and also to push Big Bob to the reptile to help shorten the stage. The second utility she provides comes mainly from her second skill and her cannon. That is, shift cancelling. When an enemy are shifted, no matter how far they get shifted, their animation are cancelled, just like what a stun will do. And the requirement of shifting are to have the final force, that is the shift force, minus enemy's weight being at least -2 force. This means that, in the case of Weedy skill 2 and her cannon, as long as enemies are weight 3 and 2, then they are susceptible to shift cancelling. This is best showcased by looking at CC3 Cinder Masteries, where Weedy with the correct attack speed allows her to match with Grudge Bearer attack interval, resulting in Weedy being able to perma-stall their attacks by shift cancelling them. Another example is in CC5 Spectrum Risk 21, where Weedy skill 2 and her cannon are used to cancel Blackhelm skill usage, wasting their skill and in turn preventing our operators from getting attack debuff. The next utility is quite similar to the second one, coming from her first skill, that is, stun cancelling. Weedy's first skill is a somewhat reliable stun skill under the right circumstances, being one of the few skills that are capable to stun with a low cooldown. This skill can indefinitely stall in the same fashion of shift cancelling. Famous examples are from CC4 Lead Seal Masteries, where Weedy is used in multiple clear to stall Golem for a quite long time. With all of this combined, the damage and the utility that comes from Weedy's kit makes her one of the most versatile operator in the game. She provides a sense of control on the stage that lets players to deal with almost everything that gets thrown in the face. And, the most important of all, she stays true to her archetype, that is being a pusher. It's impressive how with just a small tweak in the kit design can change a lot, as can be seen from the difference between Fitter and Weedy. It truly shows why Weedy is one of the best designed operator in the game. She's shaped and shows that niche is what Arknight is really all about. And cut. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I took a bit of creative change in how I do my videos, and I hope you guys find it to be enjoyable to watch. At first, I wanted to talk about both Weedy and Gladia, as I found them to be both game changing in their respective archetype, but I'm afraid that I won't have time to get it done. So, if you also want me to talk about Gladia, then let me know in the comment down below. Don't forget to click the like button, go subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.